The very idea of Jesus actually doesn't make much sense to you. I grew up in the West. I grew up in a Christian world, and it never made sense to me, okay? People told me about how great Jesus was, like, okay, the story doesn't make any sense. So if you're a really smart person, there are lots of questions about this interpretation of the Bible, and these are the three major ones. Okay? So now what I will do now is I'll explain to you what the esoteric, what secret societies believe really happened. Okay? So I want to start with Noah. Why did God destroy the world? The reason why God destroyed the world is not because of humans, but because of something else. These people are called the Nephilim. Okay, also, by the way, if you guys are interested in learning more, there are two books that are not part of the Bible, but which will give you insight into the esoteric knowledge, okay? The first is called the Book of Enoch. Book of Enoch. The second is called the Gospel of Thomas. Okay? All right. So I am using these two books as sources for my explanation, okay? So the Nephilim are children of angels and women. Okay? So what happened was that the angels who were supposed to watch humanity came down and saw, wow, these humans, these females are really beautiful. So what do? Well, they have sex with them, right? And then what happens? They have lots and lots of children. And what do these children do? These children enslave humanity. These people are called Nephilim, okay? So if you want to understand what happened, let's do a thought experiment. Let's just say that there's this group of superhumans called the Avengers. You know, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, okay? And they fight Thanos and they save the world. And now what do? Well, they're bored, so they start to have lots and lots of sex. They have lots and lots of children. And these children now are like demigods, right? So what do? Well, they enslave humanity. But then what do? Well, they start fighting amongst themselves. Okay? So that's basically what happened. So God had to destroy the Nephilim because they are not natural. Angels and humans are not supposed to have sex with each other. And this creates a new power called the Nephilim. The problem, though, is the Nephilim are divine, and therefore they cannot be killed. So you can get rid of their mortal bodies, but now they become demons who live underground and are in the shadows. And guess what, guys? They're still here today. So these secret societies, they believe the Nephilim are real, and they still control the world. The richest people in the world are actually Nephilim. Okay? Because they've been around for thousands of years, and therefore they're able to control the development of humanity. Okay, so they're called the Nephilim. So that's easy to understand. But now the question then is, wait a minute, why did Adam eat that fruit, and why did Jesus have to kill himself? Well, now it gets really complicated. Okay? So now I need to explain to you what the secret societies believe. Okay? Remember, they believe that mind leads to matter. What does that mean? Okay, let me explain what this means. Mind leads to matter. In the beginning, the true God is called the monad. Okay, the one. So just think of this as the core of the universe, the sun, the divine sun. The monad is so powerful that when he breathes, okay, he vibrates divine energy. And over millions of years, this divine energy creates new life forms. Okay? So the first life form are called the dyads. Dyads are just pairs, okay? Usually male, female, that are children of the monad. And they're able by themselves to create new universes as well, okay? So the dyads start to emanate, okay? So the entire universe is vibration. It's vibrational energy. It's the breathing of these cosmic beings, okay? And over time, over millions of years, these vibrations become atoms, which then leads to matter, okay? That's what they mean by mind leads to matter. Now, one of these dyads, named Sophia, decides, you know what? I can be just as good as the monad. what does the monad do? The monad is able to propagate by itself, by himself. He doesn't need to mate. So Sophia says, you know what? I'm going to produce something by myself. I'm going to have a child by myself to prove I am the monad, okay? So she does this, and she creates a new being, okay? A new being. This is called the demiurge. There are different names. We'll call them the demiurge. The demiurge is a monster, a monstrosity, because it goes against the natural order. So then Sophia is like, oops, I shouldn't have done that. So what does she do? She abandons the monstrosity. She throws him away and hides him in a sea of clouds. So no one knows he actually exists. Okay? Even the demiurge doesn't know he exists. The demiurge does not know about this world, right? Therefore, he believes that he must be the one true God, capable of creating new life. So what does he create? Us. Okay? He creates the planet Earth. And then he creates Adam and Eve. Okay? That's what a monster would do, okay? Look at this history. What kind of God would kick someone out of paradise for eating a fruit? A monster would do it, right? What kind of God would kill a people for no particular reason? A monster would do that, okay? What kind of God would demand that a people be loyal to that person? A monster. What kind of God would enforce his will on a people? A monster. What kind of God would say to someone, you're the only person I like, everyone else I hate? A monster would do that. Okay? So, in other words, the true secret that these secret societies are trying to keep is the God we worship today, it's the false God. And we are actually in a prison created by this false God. And that's who Jesus was. Jesus was a cosmic being sent by the monad to tell us the truth about the world. And that's why he died, because the Roman Empire could not allow people to see the truth. If I told you the truth, you would know it right away. You would wake up. Therefore, the truth tellers must be killed. Okay? So that's what these secret societies believe. They believe that the monad exists, and the mind of the monad is what creates the universe. And Jesus was sent to remind us that even though we're in a prison, there's still the monad in you. There's a spark in you, a divine light in you that you can activate. And if you activate it, then you will return to the monad. You will see the truth for yourself. And when you die, your soul, which is part of the monad, will want to return to the monad and can escape this world. But to activate this light, you must be a good person. You must love one another. You must reject money and materialism. And grades, okay? Grades in school. You must reject competition. You must reject material wealth in order to pursue spiritual happiness. Okay? That was the message of Jesus. Now you can imagine that the powers that be, the Nephilim, would not like this, okay? It's a direct threat to Nephilim, who now control the prison created by the demiurge. It's also a direct threat to the demiurge. And that's why these secret societies have been, over the centuries, been repressed, been executed, okay, been massacred. But they believe that it is their duty to protect this secret, because only by protecting the secret can humanity be ultimately saved. Right? Does that make sense? Okay, any questions? All right, so you have the official version, which is what you're taught in school, but now you have the secret version that is only taught in secret societies. The other thing about secret societies that's really important is they believe that most of us cannot accept the truth. If I told you this, you think I'm crazy and report me to the police. Okay? Therefore, they can only wait for people to wake up by themselves and approach them. And if you approach them, then they will test you, and then they will reveal the secret of the universe to you. Okay? And that's why these secret societies were founded, and that's why they've been so persistent and so successful over the centuries. Right? So now the question is, okay, this is a great theory, but how do we know it's true or not? How do we know that this is actually what they really thought? Well, we know because in poetry, in literature, the members of the secret societies have embedded the secret within the poetry. So if you're able to analyze the poetry properly, you will see for yourself that this is true. Okay? So what we're going to do is we will study today the greatest poem in English language called Paradise Lost by John Milton, who actually was a member of these secret societies. Okay? Any questions before I continue? Okay, we're going to read Paradise Lost, okay? Are we clear? Any questions? Yeah, there's a question here.
If all of these are from the false god, do we have a truth god? Do we? Or it's just a thing?
Okay, yeah. So in this system, the monad is a true god. Okay? And the question then is, why doesn't the monad interfere? Why doesn't the monad stop the demiurge from imprisoning us and making our lives hell? And there are two explanations for why this is happening. Okay? The first explanation is that the monad does not interfere in material affairs. Okay? Because the monad it's all mind. And also, we have the capacity to reject this world and return to the monad. Right? So why would he force us to do what we don't want to do? Okay? If you want to return to him, then you have the choice to engage in spirituality, to engage in goodness, to engage in knowledge, and then you'll be able to return to him, okay? That's the first explanation. The second explanation is that, and this comes from Dante, okay? The monad is a force that is eternal, perfect, and immutable, and therefore the monad has no imagination. But how do you grow as a being? You grow through the imagination. So in order for the monad to continue to grow, the monad allowed for the demiurge to create human beings. Because as human beings, we are flawed, we make mistakes, we commit evil. But by committing evil, by making mistakes, we expand the imagination of the universe. Okay? Which allows the monad to expand, okay?